Hey everybody, it is Megan Jackson here with Sue Anderson, our lead admissions advisor. Today we are discussing the MyCAA grant for military spouses and how that relates to us here at Meditech. The first thing I did want to state though is basically, Sue, can you explain to us what our largest student population is here at Meditech?
Well, here at Meditech, our largest student population is military spouses. We work with a wide variety of ages and throughout the country, even internationally.
Mm-hmm. So, and then what exactly does the MyCAA grant stand for? Like, what does that, why was it created, basically?
Well, the MyCAA grant was created because there's a need for more employment, more income for lower level families of E5 or below to really increase their income and therefore their quality of life.
Mm-hmm. So essentially the grant was made by the Obama administration, and they wanted to basically alleviate some of the unemployment rates that some military spouses were experiencing, because obviously if you're moving around the country with your family, it's very hard to lock down a job. So the grant really focuses on career training programs, correct?
Exactly. Career training programs. The whole idea with the programs that are approved for the MyCAA grant is that they are portable careers. They're in high demand, and that's why our education here at Meditech is online.
Mm-hmm. So, and essentially creating educational options that will allow them to basically get portable careers, essentially.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
Right.
The MyCAA grant also has a great number of resources for getting those careers on bases. They really do help military spouses, when they complete their program, get a job, as well as we do here at Meditech also.
Right. And exactly how much is the grant for?
Well, the grant can be up to $4,000 of approved educational expenses.
Right. Gotcha. So, and then you were saying that particular ranked officers are the ones that are eligible for the grant, correct?
Right. The grant makes, well, the Department of Defense, let's start there, makes this grant available to military spouses who are E5 or below, whose husband or wife, is an E5 or below, also O1 or O2, or W1 or W2. And those are the pay grades that are eligible for the grant.
Right, exactly. So how exactly can military spouses find out more about this grant?
Well, there's a great site for the MyCAA grant that gives educational programs, that gives options, gives huge amount of facts for every military spouse to be able to really understand the details of the grant. We here at Meditech also help our students, once we have discovered what their career goal would be, we help them navigate that grant, apply for it, and really help walk them through the ups and downs of that.
Can you expand a little bit more on exactly what that means, like what services we provide for them?
Well, our first goal with our students is to find out, what are their career goals? What are their expectations? What are they looking for? What's going to improve their quality of life? What their background is. So we do a thorough interview with each one of our students to first discover what their career goals are, what their education goals are. And once we've found a program, then we help them with the MyCAA grant by providing them with links and the overall support to have someone there if they get stuck, if they need a hand-holding along the way, because sometimes that can be daunting.
Right, exactly. It can be extremely frustrating. It's a pretty, not a long process, but it's definitely something that if you have somebody else to like walk you through it, It makes it seem a lot less scary, I suppose.
And it is scary for some individuals. They've never applied for a grant like this online, and although the questions aren't difficult, sometimes the process is frustrating and a little daunting for our spouses. And so we not only provide support for the program, and the choices that they make for their education. But what we do is talk to them on the phone, walk them through the site, whatever we need to do to help them.
Mm-hmm. So let's see.
Excuse me.
No problems. Got to take a drink break. So how do admissions advisors assist a potential student to find the best program? So you're saying that we do one-on-one consultations essentially, and I've heard admissions advisors, I know I'm more the social media specialist, so admissions advisors will talk to me saying that it's like midnight and they're on the phone with one of their students. Like, we actually are advisors, right?
Exactly. Our whole goal is to advise the student, and to do that, you need to understand the student. You need to have a conversation about their family, their goals, where are they living, how long are they going to be stationed at that base, what are their challenges, what was their previous education like. So you really want to be that helpful advisor that's going to guide them to a program that's going to be best for them.
Right, exactly. So I also wanted to talk to you a little bit about what exactly is the, there's actual specific information that they have to talk about with MyCAA, correct, as far as they need to show that they've actually done research into the field that they're going to be going into. What does that look like, and how do our admissions advisors help them with that?
Well, that's part of the process, and to understand that part, let's back up just a second. They have to apply for the MyCAA grant. They have to set up an account, and this is going to determine their eligibility. Secondly, they need to create a goal, and that's where our programs come in, and we help the students do that. The next step in the process is they have to have a conversation with a career counselor at MyCAA, a counseling session. So they really do need to talk to that individual at MyCAA and ensure MyCAA that the student has looked at other programs, has thoroughly understands the program that they are asking for to be paid for by the grant. It's a great conversation. It leads to lots of discussion. At Meditech, we try to make sure that we have informed our students and help prepare them, help them ask us the questions. We ask them questions about that are going to be asked during that session.
Right, so they're fully prepared for that kind of interview process with the MyCAA. Right?
Yes, yes. And the goal of that process is to get their education plan approved, ultimately.
So, and then what exactly is an education plan? Well,
an education plan is a document that we provide the student that gives all of the outline of our course. It really is our course description. It tells MyCAA that all materials, this is all-inclusive program, so that the students don't have to go out and buy books separate from the program. It's included in our program. And then they upload that to the MyCAA site, and that becomes the document that is approved.
Right, gotcha. So let's see. So you kind of walked through the process of how they apply for it. So what happens afterwards, after they have that initial interview with the MyCAA rep?
Well, after they have that initial interview, there's really one step for MyCAA and then a couple more steps with us. They must request financial assistance. First, you have the program approved, your training plan, your education plan, the plan is called several different things, is approved, and then the student must request that the Department of Defense pay for it. And there's a short process for that, and once that happens, there's a 15-day waiting period before they can start class.
Do you know why there actually is a 15-day waiting period?
Well, during very busy times, it could take 15 days for that financial assistance to be approved.
To be processed, basically.
And processed and approved. Everything's sent to the school so that we can send out all the enrollment documents to the individual students.
So that's a good thing to know if you're wanting to start by a particular date or by the beginning of a particular month, that it takes about 15 days for everything to be processed and entered in. So you should at least start maybe, what, a month early to where you want to actually start processing?
I would say a month to, you know, at least 3 to 4 weeks, I think is responsible. You can't come in and say, I'd like to start class next week because my CAA requirements are, that's not going to happen. and I know students get excited and they want to start school right away. We've talked about the program, they've talked to the MyCAA career counselor, and they really are really raring to go.
Right.
But they have to wait till that start date that we have established.
Right. So then what are some other questions that kind of pop up with the different military spouses that you've worked with, you know, over the, year and a half that you've worked here?
Well, we talk a lot about with our students about the course format, that the theory and the foundation for our courses are online. Some courses include externships. We really talk extensively with our students about that. Some also include a national certification exams, and we want our students to understand all parts of our process.
Well, that also brings up another question that I'm not sure if we've really hit the nail on the head yet. So what types of programs does MyCAA cover?
Well, they have to be, as I said before, they have to be high demand careers. They have to be have a growth rate over time where when that student completes that career, they're going to be able to find a job in a variety of places.
Right.
You know, military spouses move all over the country and even overseas. And so we want those programs to really be focused on that career. So our programs are certificate programs. They don't include English and math. They're just the skills you need to take to a career, to get that entry-level job or that advancement in your own current career.
Right. So they're directly applicable to a particular career skill set. Exactly. Awesome. So, and then what other questions tend to pop up with students?
You know, books and supplies are always an issue, so we want to assure the student that they're not going to have to take their own money, go on Amazon, go to the bookstore, and try to find a textbook that's appropriate. We do mail those to the student's house, so right around the first week of class, they get a package that has their books in them.
Right. And then, so what happens as far as eligibility requirements? What if you start a course and then your spouse who is in the military is about to rank up into the ranks that are ineligible for MyCAA?
Well, that question comes up a lot. With our E5 students, the MyCAA requires that when they go through this eligibility process and approval process, all the way through financial assistance, that nothing in the DEER system that holds all of the individual data for military spouses, for military families, military members, that nothing in there indicates that there's an E6 or a rank up. So, for example, we set up everything, they start school, and their husband becomes an E6. They hadn't planned on that, but he earns that rank or she earns that rank. Nothing happens. The student doesn't have to pay back the money. MyCAA doesn't say, you've only had half the class, so now you need to pay us back for the other half. Once you've been approved, you're approved through the end of the class. That's
definitely a good thing to know.
It is, yes.
And what if you're PCSing or something like that? Does that alter the grant or anything like that?
Doesn't alter the grant. When students are PCSing, especially if they're PCSing a long distance overseas, our students can request that their course is put on hold. They inform our student services, student support department of what's going on, and we work with them to make sure that that move that may not have been anticipated happens smoothly and they don't lose any continuity in class.
Right. And then that's also a good thing to know. What happens if a student needs an extension or something like that? Does MyCAA cover that, or are there even charges for the extension?
Well, you know, MyCAA, extensions are something that we do here at Meditech. So a student, as they get toward the end of their 6 months or 12 months that they're taking the class, and they see that they're not quite done yet, they can request through student support to have a 3-month extension. And that first 3-month extension is free.
Right.
And then there's a nominal charge if you need something past that.
Right. And so that's a good thing to note because of the fact that you don't even need to worry about whether or not the MyCAA covers that essentially.
No, that's with us.
Right. And so I think that does certainly reflect as part of our culture here at Meditech is that we're definitely here to make your schooling work for you, basically.
Exactly.
So we know that a ton of our students have just random things that pop up, PCSing, you know, ranking up or anything like that, maybe a child being born or something like that. So we definitely work with you, and that's exactly what the admissions advisors are here for. They talk to you not only just when you're signing up for your classes, but they're also there to help after you've signed up for your classes. So if you have something like that, just shoot us an email or tweet us and let us know, like, hey, this is coming up, can I get an extension, or I haven't received my books. We're definitely here for you. But it looks like we're going to open it up for questions right now. So and it looks like one question that we received is from the lovely Ashley Riegler. She has, where is Meditech located?
Well, we are physically located in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, ATX.
95 degrees today.
And then also we're an online school as well, so we're able to reach people all over the world, and we actually have a very substantial amount of students that are international because they're PCSing to international bases.
Sure, we do have students who, when they get overseas, I know I had a student say to me, there's not a whole lot to do in Germany, Sue, I need to go to school.
Right.
And so I worked with her to get a program that she wanted, and that would really ultimately help her reach her goals.
Definitely. I completely understand. Are there any other questions that anybody has? Go ahead and ask in the Q&A portion of the event. But Sue, is there anything else that you can think of that people have questions about?
You know, I really don't. I think a lot of things are individual. The message that the admissions team wants to put out to everyone is, all of our students, is that we're here to help you. If we don't know the answer, we're going to find somebody who does. We're going to be here to help you, whether you're getting started, whether you're just asking some general questions, whether you're just about ready to start class, or whether you're finishing up and want to share with us your excitement about finishing class. We're here for our students, and that's what we pride ourselves in, that service, that customer service that we give our students.
Right.
They're the most important thing that we do. They're the most important people that we talk to all day, every day, all week. As you said, no matter if we have to call an overseas student at 12 o'clock at night, we're here to help our students.
Exactly. And I think that also is reflected in the fact that we're one of the few online schools that actually have instructors and a career service center. You don't sign up for your class and then are just left to the wolves. Like, we don't just like throw you out there and boom. You actually are able to you know, speak to an actual instructor, and then once you're about to graduate from the program, we have a career services that can help you with your resume, that can help you look for jobs, and not only find resources for finding jobs, but also, you know, help you find an externship for building your experience, like, while you're around base and trying to, you know, get into that field. It looks like we have another question, so let's see. Okay, so if I was an international student, where can I get the hands-on portion for online medical programs?
Well, we work with our students, whether they're internationally or whether they're here in the States, to find out what resources are available. We do have externship coordinators who really focus on finding the best situation for the student, no matter where it is, where they are living. Now, when you're overseas and you're in a country that doesn't speak English, often that's not the easiest thing to do, but we strive to make that happen for each student.
And I would think that in the end, if they can't find something while they're international, we can set up externships once they actually get back stateside, correct?
Exactly. Students know that we're here to help them, with you know, what they can do and how they can do it. So if we have to wait till they get back to the States, we can do that. I guess what I'm saying is that we take each situation on an individual basis.
Right. So, and then basically, like we were saying, if any kind of unforeseen situations occur, we can actually, help you as much as we can. We're definitely here to be a flexible option of education for you.
Exactly.
So what I'm going to do is we're actually going to end the Google Hangout right now. If you want any more information, I am opening the chat window and I will send you a link to where you can actually sign up for a one-on-one, no strings consultation. Believe me, there's no reason why you should feel like you are completely tied to, signing up for our courses if you give us a call. We're really just here to help you as much as possible and kind of figure out the best option for you. So here is the link, and I will also put it on the event page as well. For more information, please click here. Cool. Awesome. Well, we had a great time. I'm so glad that Sue was here in order to have this little info session on MyCAA. We'll definitely have new things in the future as well, covering MyCAA, different international student options, as well as our different courses. Actually, next week, we're doing a webinar with our amazing instructor, Audrey Kirchner, who's up for a medical transcription award by AHDI. I don't know if you knew that yet. It's one of the biggest governing boards for medical transcription, and we are doing a webinar essentially on what medical transcription is and the job outlook, as well as how you can get involved in medical transcription. So great. Thanks for being here, Sue, and thanks
for having me.
Thanks for watching. See you later.